Hello and welcome to yet another lecture in the lecture series on principles of microeconomics. In the previous class, I have taught you how to calculate elasticity of demand both mathematically as well as graphically, and in the graphical sense we have seen how do we calculate elasticity of demand on a linear demand curve as well as a non-linear demand curve. So today I have got for you price elasticity of demand and its various types. So let us recap how do we calculate price elasticity of demand. So price elasticity of demand is given by EP and it is percentage change in quantity demanded due to percentage change in price of that particular commodity. Let us assume that we are consuming a commodity X and let Qx denote the quantity demanded of that particular commodity and Px denote the price of that particular commodity. So therefore, employing a usual formula, elasticity or price elasticity of demand is given by change in quantity demanded of X divided by change in price of X multiplied by the original price divided by the original quantity. So this is our usual formula. If you don't know how to derive this or calculate this, please go and check my video on how to calculate elasticity of demand mathematically as well as graphically. I will put the link in the description below. Yeah. So let us now move to the different types of price elasticities of demand. So the first type of price elasticity of demand is perfectly inelastic demand, wherein price elasticity is equal to 0. Then we have second type, which is relatively inelastic demand, wherein elasticity of price is less than 1. Then we have relatively elastic demand. Relatively elastic demand, here I am saying, here it was inelastic, here it is elastic demand, and the price elasticity is greater than 1. Then we have unit elasticity of demand. The name itself suggests that unit elasticity means elasticity is equal to 1. So therefore, price elasticity is 1 in case of unit elasticity of demand. And then we have the last type, which is called as perfectly elastic demand, and therefore the elasticity or price elasticity is equal to infinity. Let us now look into greater details what perfectly inelastic demand means. Yeah. Now on the x-axis, I am looking at quantity demanded of X. On the y-axis, I am looking at the price of that particular commodity X. Yeah. Now let us look at the various changes in price. Now initially the price was OP2 and the quantity demanded was OQ. Then the price changes to OP1, but still the quantity demanded remains the same, meaning thereby there is no change in quantity demanded. If at all there is any underlying change in price, but the quantity demanded is not changing, that means if you look at this ratio, the quantity demanded remains 0, the numerator remains 0, and there is a change in price, but it is of no use to us because the entire ratio becomes 0. The entire ratio becomes 0. Therefore, elasticity of price when perfectly inelastic demand exists is equal to 0. So I hope the idea of price elasticity of demand when perfectly inelastic demand exists is pretty much clear. Then let us move to relatively inelastic demand. Again on OX, I am talking about quantity demanded of X. OY, I am talking about price of X. Now the initial quantity when the price is OP is given by OQ. The change price OP1 reflects the change in quantity OQ1. So now let us assume that the percentage change in price, which is this segment, is 3% and the percentage change in quantity, this segment, is 2%. Then employing a usual formula, percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price, we have 2 divided by 3, which will give me a ratio. The value of ratio is 0.6, which is obviously less than 1. Therefore, whenever there is relatively inelastic demand, the elasticity of price is always less than 1. So I hope the idea of relatively inelastic demand and the price elasticity is pretty much clear. Let us now move to relatively elastic demand. Again, OX is talking about the quantity demanded of X, OY is talking about the price. Now OP is the initial price and OQ is the initial quantity. OP1 is the changed price and OQ1 is the changed quantity. So now suppose that percentage change in price is 2% and percentage change in quantity is 3%. Therefore, employing a usual formula, price elasticity of demand is percentage change in quantity demanded due to percentage change in price. Here quantity demanded is 3, percentage change in quantity demand is 3 and percentage change in price is 2. So therefore, we are going to get a ratio which is obviously greater than 1. Hence, whenever there is relatively elastic demand, the price elasticity is always greater than 1. So I hope the idea of relatively elastic demand and price elasticity is pretty much clear. Let us now move to something called as unit elasticity of demand. Now when I say unit, that means 1. That means price elasticity has to be equal to 1. That means this ratio has to be equal to 1. This ratio can be 1 only and only if the percentage change in quantity demanded is equal to the percentage change in price of that particular commodity. That means, let us assume that percentage change in quantity demanded is equal to 2% and percentage change in price is also equal to 2%. So therefore, employing a usual formula, 2 divided by 2 will give me 1, and hence the elasticity of price or price elasticity of demand is equal to 1. So I hope the idea of unit elasticity is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the last type of price elasticity of demand, which is perfectly elastic demand. So let us look at the graph. OX is again talking about quantity, OY is again talking about price. Now we see that the quantity is changing, but the price is remaining the same. That means the percentage change in price is 0. Yeah, the percentage change in price is 0. So therefore, given underlying change in quantity is denoted by delta QX, but change in price is 0. Therefore, anything divided by 0 will give me error term mathematically, and that error term is usually called as infinity. Therefore, price elasticity is equal to infinity. So I hope the idea of price elasticity of demand is pretty much clear, and the various types of it. We have two different extremes, that is perfectly inelastic demand, where is price elasticity is 0. Then we have perfectly elastic demand, where the price elasticity is infinity, and then we have unit elasticity, wherein price elasticity is 1. Then we have relatively elastic demand, wherein elasticity of price elasticity of demand is greater than 1, and relatively inelastic demand, where price elasticity of demand is less than 1. So this is it from my side for today's class. Thank you so much.